good to see a growing awareness about something that's been previously dismissed or overlooked, the quarter-life crisis. And credit to you for checking up on this, because the anxiety that's associated with it is not undue. The personal and professional choices you make in your 20s will truly affect the rest of your life. I got it wrong in my 20s. I married the wrong person and I pursued the wrong career. I became an airline captain because I thought it would impress people, but it wasn't my true self. I married a lovely woman, but she wasn't best suited to me. I would spare you the same critical mistakes. And don't worry, I'm not here to sell you anything. I'm just here to give you something, actually, that will carry you forward with absolute clarity. With a non-conventional method you're about to see, I'm here to decisively transform that quarter-life crisis anxiety, ambivalence and uncertainty into what should actually be a very exciting time for you. And here's how we'll accomplish that. First of all, let's look at the unexpected reasons why the quarter-life crisis exists in modern times. And second, I'm going to show you how depth psychology explains what's going on here. Third and finally, I'm going to give you something that will guide you through this personally and professionally. So don't make any important life decisions until you've watched this video. So, first up then, the true reason behind the quarter-life crisis. You now stand at one of life's gateways, and what you need is a coping strategy to pass through it. Rituals used to serve this purpose in ancient tribes, but obviously rituals don't really exist in that way anymore. Humans may now exist in a modern time, but our genes are far more ancient, and what we experience in the quarter-life crisis, just as in the midlife crisis, is our ancient genes stirring. Humans have existed for around 2.5 million years, so needless to say, our genes come from a long lineage that has little to do with the modern times we find ourselves in. To put that in perspective, the recent few hundred years of what we might call modern times makes up just 0.012% of our existence. So ancient peoples and their beliefs can tell us a lot, and just because we invented things like smartphones doesn't make us much wiser than them. In fact, technology has caused us moderns to become detached from our most ancient wisdom. Hence, we have these mental health crises today, because we abandoned what I'm about to show you now. And as you'll see in a second, modern-day depth psychology explains the truth in ancient beliefs and why they existed. Ancient peoples understood that the human life cycle, like so many cycles in nature, is a quaternity, or a cycle of 4 stages. 4 seasons, 4 weeks in a month, 4 quarters in a year, 4 stages to the lunar cycle and the menstrual cycle, and 4 quadrants in religious symbols like crosses. The 4 seasons of the human life cycle were considered to be 0 to 20, like a spring, 21 to 40 is the young adulthood or a summer, and a 41 to 60 being a maturity or autumn, and 61 to 80 seniority, winter. Passing from one stage to another in this human life cycle is like a gateway that requires a key to successfully go through it, and that key is a change on your part. That's one reason why the snake is a common sacred symbol for ancient peoples, because it continually sheds skin, it transforms, so it is wise. So the quarter-life crisis is a result of the overdue change required to pass through the gateway from childhood to young adulthood. By the way, if you've watched the film 2001: A Space Odyssey and wondered what it's all about, those 4 monoliths represent these gateways in a human life, as well as the stages of human consciousness. The stage of the quarter-life crisis in that film is represented by the discovery of the monolith on the moon. You should watch it if you haven't seen it already. In his famous book, Thus Spoke Zarathustra, the very same song, iconic music used in that film, Nietzsche illustrates these gateways by comparing a child, or 0 to 20 years old, as a compliant camel who must become a lion in adulthood in the 21 to 40 year period. And by the way, the lion must later slay a dragon called Thou Shalt, but that's the midlife crisis gateway. But master the quarter-life crisis, and your midlife crisis won't be a crisis at all. So the quarter-life crisis is about the pain associated with passing through this gateway from childhood to adulthood that the ancients knew about so well. In Friedrich Nietzsche's phrase, it's about transforming you from a camel into a lion, from an obedient camel into a lion. Why do these gateways exist, though? Okay, so the next section, how depth psychology explains what's going on here. The reason these lifetime gateways exist in humans is because we are effectively two people. This human duality is a well-recognized fact. Science calls it System 1 and System 2, imaginatively. Spirituality might refer to it as ego and spirit. Storytellers depict it as things like Jekyll and Hyde or David Banner in The Incredible Hulk. I will refer to it as the conscious mind and the subconscious mind. Let me explain. So when you were born, you only had a subconscious mind. This is your nature, your genes, your true self. But as you grew older, your conscious mind grew out of that subconscious mind like a plant growing from the soil, and it was formed by the world around you. This is your nurture, your culture, or what we might call your false self, also known as ego. So this nature-nurture conflict is both the blessing and curse of humanity. Consciousness, the ability to recognize our thoughts and actions, is the gift that sets human animals above all other animals, right? But it comes at a price. The price you're paying right now as these two forces are arguing within you. Yeah, that's right. They don't play well together. And this actually is the source of all anxiety. So you have two competing voices inside you. There's the subconscious mind pre-birth, and then there's the conscious mind, which is post-birth, formed from the subconscious after birth. And the subconscious voice is effectively trying to pull you back to the source, the womb in a way, the bliss of childhood, where there are no decisions to be made, no duality, in what is basically paradise. For another 2001 Space Odyssey reference, if you're interested at this life stage, see how the shuttle blissfully enters the mothership and how another shuttle gets swallowed up by a gaping mechanical kind of womb almost that's on the moon. The conscious ego voice wants to defiantly move away from this paradise. It wants its independence for all the pain it might cause. And just as our mythology depicts, the fall from paradise, from Eden, involves a sense of guilt or shame. If you carefully search your feelings associated with this quarter-life crisis, could it boil down to a sense of shame? It's interesting, isn't it? So at this stage in life, you're caught in the crossfire between these two guys, subconscious and conscious ego. And because of your younger age, and still relatively new ego, the subconscious kind of has the upper hand right now, and it's pulling you back to the paradise of childhood, where you can kind of run away from all these decisions and trade-offs and dualities that you're faced with. So in short, passing through this quarter-life gateway is about growing up and taking your place in the tribe. Back in the day, if you were a male, females just had their first period, but if you were a male, you would have been ripped from your mother's arms at puberty, although she was secretly in on the whole act, by masked warriors and taken down a sacred cave to have your foreskin sliced off with a flint knife before the shaman gave you a suitable place in the tribe. Don't worry, I'll be much gentler with you, but the end result will be the same. So I'm now about to give you something that will guide you through this personally and professionally. Let me explain what it's about. See, life is a journey down a corridor of dilemmas. There's always a door to choose, right? Should I marry this person or not? Should I take that job or not? Should I move home? We choose a door, and then a whole new corridor of dilemmas opens up as we continue this journey, an endless web of binary choices and outcomes, right? But the thing is, without having the right life map, your decision making in this corridor is haphazard, wrong, or just simply non-existent. What skews our judgment in that corridor are the voices of our past and parents, teachers, society, all the people who've scratched away at our true self. But the voice most worth listening to in that corridor of choices is the one that resonates with your nature, your true self. This true self, your genetic pre-birth version of you, is now quietly waiting in the background because you're still developing ego, and rightly so, is still forming and fighting for its independence, and it's making a lot of noise in the process. But your true self still holds the answers to all the questions you're asking yourself right now. Your true self tells you your true purpose in life and the career path you should now be taking. It makes sense, right? Looking at the true self of others tells you who your life partner should or shouldn't be. And your true self and the true self of others are laid out in clear personality profile form in the gift I'd like to now send you for free, my award-winning and best-selling book, The U Code. So it also covers everything you'll need in life, including financial and health matters. And what I'd give to have this book when I was in my 20s, I just can't tell you. I can't impress upon you enough what a gift this is. See, now ancients believed each of us have an Inangukawa within us. It's a kind of guardian angel, a separate self. Hindus call it Atman, the God within. Emperor Marcus Aurelius referred to it as the deity within thee. Medieval knights referred to it as the Holy Grail, or a quest for the divine within us. The cup is just a metaphor for the divine within us. Nietzsche referred to it as an unknown sage, a mighty commander within. I will simply refer to it as your true self, and it's waiting to be reunited with you face to face in the U Code as a torch to light your way through this gateway, transforming you from camel to lion. May this be your guardian angel in the exciting years ahead of you.